Healy is a company active in over 50 countries. It sells a miracle machine that's supposed to help with all kinds of diseases for up to $4,000. We investigated it for months. In the last episode, you heard Jonas. I'm Hoch, and I'll be taking it over from here. If you're not a fan of excessive intonation and dramatic pretentious pauses, I am deeply sorry. Healy was founded by Marcus Schmieke, an esoteric Steve Jobs-like figure. The theory behind the Healy is based on a whole lot of pseudoscience. At the core is a supposed quantum sensor. Great Scott took the device apart for us, and surprise, there is no sensor. The company itself admits in small text disclaimers that none of what they claim is based on science. According to a lawyer, these disclaimers are not enough and might break the law. We found Facebook groups in which people place all their hopes into the Healy. Members share advice on which frequency programs to run to treat things like opioid addictions, MS, and severe allergies, among other things. In Switzerland, 2 people died. They were treated with Schmieke's prior invention, and their respective cancers were not treated properly in time. Is the Healy just a ticking time bomb? Will someone die, putting their faith into it, sooner or later? Now, we want to understand how Healy got so big. It's all over social media. People hype it up across the globe.
The Healy.
Healy.
How does the company's sales system work? And who is really getting rich? This time we are analyzing internal documents, and we are infiltrating a truly sinister sales machine.
Hello, this is SO Steve Hops. Have you heard of the revolutionary Mega Heal?
Annoying robocalls and spam emails are on the rise. They probably get into your smartphone or inbox as well, from time to time. And that's no coincidence. So-called data brokers collect and analyze everything that can be found about us on the internet. They bundle sensitive data into extensive shadow profiles. They use information such as your contact details, your browser history, and the online purchases you have made. They then sell those data bundles or use them for their own benefit. Some of the data may be used for marketing or for recruiting purposes. In the worst case scenario, sensitive data can be misused for hacks or identity theft. Incogni requests the deletion of your data from countless brokers. In the dashboard, you can then track exactly how many requests are out and what the current status is. Visit incogni.com/FernTV to get an exclusive 60% discount on a 1-year plan with the code FernTV. You can also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's a really great service, and by checking it out, you support our reporting. Despite deletion by Incogni, your data can still appear online. There is no 100% guarantee. Always share your personal information with caution. For legal reasons, we are not stating that the Healy company is a scam, but in our opinion, people are getting scammed by false promises made around the Healy by sellers of the device in the company's multi-level marketing system. When someone wants to buy a Healy, they need a personal referral code from a Healy distributor. The sale of Healy products is part of what's known as multi-level marketing, MLM for short. That's a controversial sales strategy which resembles a pyramid structure. Sellers at the top recruit other sellers, and so on.
So, Phil recruited me to sell these cards, and now I am recruiting you. Again. Phil has recruited me and another guy. Now we are getting 3 people each. The more people that get involved, the more people who are investing, the more money we're all going to make.
With Healy, you can earn money in 3 ways. 1. Customer sales. Every seller earns a commission when they successfully sell Healy products. 2. Team building. Healy distributors can recruit others to sell Healy as well. And 3. Leadership rewards. As your team grows and sells more Healy devices, you can climb the ranks and receive bonus payments. Especially the leadership rewards promises substantial earnings for independent Healy World members. That's what the company calls its sales force. The sales ranks are divided into 3 categories: builder, team manager, and leader. There are a total of 17 consecutive ranks. Those who reach the rank of executive president can receive a one-time bonus of up to $500,000. All of this can be found in detail in the official Healy compensation plan.
It sounds like a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yes, thank you. You will get rich quick. We all will.
The only problem is that the compensation plan is incredibly convoluted. Each rank offers complex additional bonuses. There's a 3-page glossary for the numerous abbreviations and concepts that promise even more money. Most of it is denominated in points rather than dollars. This might just be a conscious tactic. John M. Taylor was the founder of the nonprofit Consumer Awareness Institute and a longtime MLM critic. In 2011, he published his research on the website of the FTC, the American Federal Trade Commission. Taylor analyzed the compensation plan of over 600 MLMs and found that 99% of those participating in a multi-level marketing operation lose money. This of course doesn't have to be true for Healy. However, it does give us a glimpse into how this industry generally works. It gives us an idea of why Healy hides its compensation behind a confusing system, cryptic wording, and an opaque point system. Healy's compensation plan is likely primarily designed to confuse. It aims to lure in potential sellers with the promise of exorbitant sums of money. The likelihood of actually earning such a fortune in the end is either concealed or not mentioned at all. Top sellers like Volkan Kurt and Victoria Matacha serve as poster children for how successful one can be with selling the Healy. Kurt and his team claim annual revenues for Healy of at least $10 million, achieved in just 2 years. How big their commission is, we don't know, but it must be huge.
Das ist das Wahre, was die Mission dahinter ist. Ja.
Raise your hand if you want to get rich.
Who is this guy again?
Don't worry about Phil. He drives a Corvette. He is doing just fine.
All of this is exciting until reality hits. While we may know how much Healy pays out in commissions annually in total, we don't have a clear picture of how that money is distributed. An MLM company that thrives on big promises might have little interest in transparency. On the Canadian and US websites of Healy, there is a somewhat detailed income disclosure. In Canada, this is required by law if the company wants to make claims about potential incomes of their members. The US website shows the annual average incomes of Healy sellers in 2022. These numbers show that there must be around 6,000 active sellers in the US in that year. 265 of those, which is only around 4%, even just had the rank Builder. They had an annual average income of a little under $2,000. 5 people with the rank Senior Vice President had a yearly income of around $350,000. That is only 0.08% of all sellers. In internal training materials, Healy states, based on industry standards and company projections, the average annual gross income for members is projected to be anywhere between $1,500 and $3,000. While these numbers are not too surprising, they still don't reflect how little money Healy sellers often make in reality.
It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not even a scheme per se.
Obviously, Healy has another disclaimer for this.
There are no guarantees concerning the level of success you may experience as a Healy World member.
But some people are making serious money by selling Healys, and they're getting other people to sell even more Healys for them.
For example, I have 2 people below me who earn around 15,000 euros per month, and I make about double that. I don't do anything else but Healy at this point.
We went ahead and pretended to be gullible potential Healy customers, prey to the predators. We've had suspicions from the beginning that the most extreme promises are made in one-on-one conversations, not in the promotional videos with their vague language, but here, behind virtual closed doors, away from prying eyes and ears, in groups, chats, calls where they potentially appear even more credible. We spoke with 3 Healy sellers from 3 different countries, 2 of them very high-ranking. Each time, we played a guy with severe back pain after a botched surgery. Our girlfriend suffers from depression. Can Healy help us?
Certainly, the Healy can help with that. It even has approval for pain relief in Germany. I myself had surgery this year and used the Healy for it. There's really no issue the Healy can't help with.
You can treat every kind of condition with it, be it physical or mental. The Healy scans the physical organs, and there you can see, okay, here's a kidney problem, here's a liver problem. It also scans on mental and pain-related issues, and it has an option to scan which vitamins you are lacking.
But if we truly want to see long-term improvement in our health and that of our girlfriend, both tell us that we'll need to invest more. The cheapest Healy for $500 won't be sufficient for our needs, of course.
So, with the Healy Gold, you have only one app to treat basic conditions. I would not recommend it to you. I would at least recommend the Healy Resonance to you. Because it can scan your body, it can accelerate the restoration of the nerves and support your complete health.
The Healy Resonance would cost us 1,500 euros, but of course we're offered a discount because we're so nice, such a kind offer. There's actually one more thing that's straining our relationship with our partner. It's a bit awkward actually, but we have problems with erectile dysfunction. Surely the Healy can help with that as well, right?
If someone broke your bone, it is broken, Healy cannot fix this. You have to ask, what is the root cause of your problem? If it's stress, Healy can reduce it and support you. And even nerve damage can be supported in some way. So yes, it will support you, but to what extent is hard to predict.
Buying the Healy would be a significant financial burden for us. Can they promise us that Healy will help?
We can't promise you anything, but our experience is that it just helps.
You know, I can make no promises, but it has been known to help many things. I wish I was a prophet, but I am not. Do I believe that you will have a positive experience with Healy? Yes. Do I believe it's going to help with your condition? Yes. Do I believe that it will help your condition the way you want it to help? I don't know.
While they don't know for sure and can't make any promises, they've had positive experiences. Often, this is followed by a personal story meant to support their claim.
I did have COVID in January of 22, and it lasted around 13 weeks. I was very, very sick, but I refused to go to the hospital because I knew if I went in, I wouldn't come out. I got COVID again recently, and I've been using the Healy daily. I'm already so much better than I was back last year without it.
Some stories go even further.
For instance, I have a friend who has cancer, and she completely stopped taking her medications with the help of the Healy. It took about half a year. She did it on her own responsibility. I can't tell her to stop taking her medication. She ran the pain program on the Healy and gradually reduced her medications. And eventually, she realized she didn't need them anymore.
But what about the cancer itself?
Well, she has metastases throughout her whole body. But I'd say being able to go on vacation again and seeing many improvements, it means a completely different quality of life. She even got herself 2 dogs now.
We don't get a clear answer on whether Healy can cure cancer or not, so we asked directly. Our aunt lives in Kazakhstan and has cancer. Can we help her from the Netherlands, where we live?
Yes, you can do that. It can be done using the Blue app. If you buy the Healy from me, you'll gain access to my academy, and I'll show you how it's done. You can treat people anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. It works reliably, whether with animals or humans.
The distance doesn't matter, it still works, and it doesn't even matter what condition. You can basically treat everything.
We also played the skeptic. If the Healy is such a wonderful device, if it can help with pretty much any illness, why isn't it more well known? Why isn't it offered everywhere, in hospitals and pharmacies?
The reason that most people do not know of this is because it is actually a threat to the regular health system. In my opinion, this frequency therapy is the therapy of the future, because this is the purest form of healing you have. It has no side effects.
It has.
The whole big pharma industry, I always say, it is a lot like modern mafia, because it has nothing to do with healing. So this kind of treatment of the Healy, when you Google it, you will immediately find negative information about it. There is a huge propaganda to let people think that it doesn't work.
Of course, there is not one bit of evidence that pharmaceutical companies suppress the spread of the Healy. We presented ourselves as a person with a complex medical history, a botched surgery, constant physical and emotional pain, a struggling girlfriend, a dying aunt, and a feeling of disappointment with conventional medicine. Our also doesn't work. In short, we were vulnerable. We just played a role, of course, but suffering and chronic pain are a part of life for many people. And for precisely these people, the promises made by Healy sellers can be particularly dangerous because they raise false hopes. We were told that Healy can help with our chronic pain, with healing our nerves, with the psychological trauma from the botched surgery, with our partner's depression, with our erectile dysfunction, and with our sick aunt's cancer. We could send the Healy's frequency 3,000 kilometers across Europe to Kazakhstan into her body. We were told things that should not have been said. In internal training materials, there is a list of do's and don'ts when talking about Healy. Do not make general healing claims, do not make claims regarding scientific studies, do not mention medical cases, and do not share your income. All the people we spoke to broke these rules. Perhaps because they saw a good business opportunity in us and wanted to make the sale, perhaps because they just so firmly believe in the device. Maybe a bit of both. We can't say for sure. We confronted Healy with the claims sellers made about the device and asked if they, like us, would consider this an attempt to scam us. They did not respond directly and simply stated that this could contradict their policies and they might terminate contracts in those cases. The company also again referred to their supposed compliance team dedicated to monitoring and ensuring adherence to their policies. One thing is for certain, Healy is a giant success. Just recently, the company claimed that they are sending out 1 Healy per minute. That's over 500,000 per year. Just how big is this company, and who is getting rich? We took a look at the official financial statements of Healy International AG and reviewed other internal documents. Since the company is based in Germany, we spoke with the German tax consultant Christoffer. He regularly analyzes the financial statements of large companies on YouTube. Overall, he says that Healy's numbers look relatively normal. However, he did find some things to be a bit odd. There are two men behind the company. Marcus Schmieke, of course. He holds 40% of the company's shares. The other one is Christian Halper. He holds the remaining shares. He's an Austrian millionaire, an esoterics fan, and the owner of multiple vegan restaurants. But how profitable is their company? According to the current numbers from 2021, Healy generates an annual revenue of $140 million. After deducting all expenses, all that is left is a profit of just around $3.8 million. Not a bad sum, of course, but shouldn't Healy be making much more? The company sells a product for probably about 10 times the production cost, or even way more. When we asked about why their device is so expensive, the company claimed it would have lots of other expenses beyond the direct production costs. Investments in software development, server infrastructure, maintenance, and of course research and development. But well, Healy's financial statements show that only roughly $3 million were spent for IT infrastructure in 2021, just over $1 million for R&D, and around $4 million for the development of new products. All those are just small fractions of their revenue. So what are they spending all that money on? Mainly for distribution. Around $80 million is spent just to sell Healys. According to Jan, this is an unusual scale. If Healy was truly a medical revolution, would it really need such aggressive marketing? The largest expense for Healy is the commissions. They amount to around $65 million, which is almost half of the total revenue.
Das habe ich so persönlich noch nicht in einer Bilanz gesehen und das ist aus meiner Sicht damit viermal so hoch, wie ich es persönlich erwartet hätte. Aber der Produktherstellungspreis ist halt besonders günstig und damit ergeben sich halt auch sehr hohe Bruttomargen und die steckt man anscheinend hier in die Vertriebskosten.
We don't know how this money is exactly distributed, but we know that it is likely flowing upwards. Healy did not want to disclose how the compensations were distributed due to supposed data privacy concerns. We talked to an expert for these kinds of companies, Oz from Behind MLM. According to him, it is a standard procedure for MLM owners and executives to have positions in the compensation plan. We were wondering, could it be possible that Marcus Schmieke, Christian Halper, and possibly their relatives are also part of Healy's compensation plan and earn provisions? Healy claims that they are not. According to German law, financial statements must contain notes if the company made transactions under non-standard market conditions with close family members, managers, executives, or owners.
Letztendlich heißt das aber im Umkehrschluss, wenn du Vereinbarungen getroffen hast, die aber marktüblich sind, dann muss man das im Jahresabschluss nicht erwähnen und so kann man natürlich auch Gewinne in der Gesellschaft reduzieren, ja, die Zahlungen letztendlich abfließen lassen, ohne dass es dann im Jahresabschluss auch in Erscheinung tritt. Das wäre durchaus möglich.
And then we found something else. At the very bottom of page 31, among various licensing, rental, and service agreements, there are payments of $4.5 million to a company called Frequency Waiver, SRO, in Bratislava, Slovakia. Why would Healy pay such a significant amount of money to a company in Bratislava? Given the magnitude, it's unlikely to be rent for some office space. It might be for a service, or as Jan suspects, perhaps a license.
Also irgendwie befindet sich hier in Bratislava eine Lizenz, die so wertvoll ist. Wir reden hier über 40, 50 Millionen Euro Wert, die diese Lizenz haben muss, damit wir diese für 4,2 Millionen Euro lizenzieren müssen.
Behind Frequency Waiver, S.Art.O, are familiar faces. 56% is owned by Halper Holding GmbH, the vegan restaurant owner, and 44% by a certain Katharina Schmieke. We don't know for what license, service, or product Healy paid this much money. Healy itself says it entails proprietary trade secrets, and it is therefore confidential. After studying Healy for months, to us it is clear how this company works. We don't think the architects of this whole system believe a word of their own marketing material. The disclaimers are too calculated. The MLM sales machinery is too well thought out. The company maneuvers at the edge of legality with a finesse that is almost admirable. If all of this weren't so incredibly evil. While we conducted our investigation, passages in promotional videos were quietly deleted. Supposed experts backing the product disappeared from the website. Essential elements of the technology got relabeled. Healy is constantly moving to protect itself from being legally liable. This probably takes a whole lot of lawyers. We asked them, and they say they have a well-organized internal legal department with extensive experience spanning over 25 years in direct selling, and also a strong network of top-tier law firms. How do people work for such a company? What do they tell themselves to be able to look in the mirror? Who goes to law school for years to draft disclaimers like this? The people at the other end of all of this do believe what they are sold. They are desperate, and often they are really sick.
You can make a lot of money if you sell fear and then sell an illusion that people think will take away the fear. But most of the time, the medicine is actually not removing the problem. It is actually increasing it in the long term. And then we have really big companies who earn a lot of money on people based on suffering.